All right, Blue is our city. We back with another one. It's been a minute. We had to take a holiday break. I want to shout out, everybody out there celebrating Christmas. It doesn't matter if you celebrate Christmas or not, but I want to shout out to you after the year that everybody's had around the world. So I hope that you guys are taking advantage of this time, spending the time with your family and your loved ones. But it was good to see that Manchester City win. We back at it. Blue is back. City Blue is back with another episode, as you can see, of this show. It's been a minute I've been gone, but we're gonna talk about it. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Manchester City versus Newcastle United. We got to win, and we're gonna talk about it. That's what we do. If you're new around these parts, make sure you hit the like. Make sure that you out there tuning in and you sharing the video with other people that might be excited about Manchester City. If you hit the like, you hit the notification bell. It's going to serve one purpose, just to get other Manchester City fans involved and help them find the channel. So thank you guys for doing that. But let's start it off. Let's get right into it. So Manchester City versus Newcastle right after Boxing Day celebration right after Christmas. So we needed a win, bro. I'm happy that we got a win. I'm celebrating the Christmas time, the festivities. I went into the match. I felt confident, that we were going to win, but you never know with City. Luckily, we managed to pull this one out, and we're going to talk about it going through. So first up, right out the bat, let's get into it. So the starting lineup, I felt very interesting. I know Mendy has not been playing for a while, and I thought it was shocking that Pep didn't even put him in. I think we saw Zinchenko involved in the League Cup. I thought Zinchenko looked good, but I didn't expect to see Zinchenko in this match, but I really thought, we was going to see at least Mendy there with Kyle Walker being out due to dealing with his situation, as well as Jesus. But I thought it was shocking that Mendy wasn't involved, and maybe we might see the end of Mendy. I thought Zinchenko was going to be the end of Zinchenko, so maybe we might be seeing the end of Mendy. Because I thought Mendy played well in a few matches, but for whatever reason, Pep is not feeling Mendy at the moment, so that might be the end of Mendy. But Ake started today. Aguero was funny enough on the bench, and I get the decision not to start him in the game, but I thought it was a little curious that he didn't start the match, given that we knew Jesus was going to be out of the match, given his situation. So I'm one of those people where I believe, if he's on the bench, and I know we don't want to rush him back, but let's get him fit at some point, to see if he's got 45 minutes. I think the last few times we've been throwing him out there for around 20 minutes. He was coming off a serious injury. Then I think he had a stomach injury. So we've been putting him in sparingly right now. But I was shocked to see him not even start the match. I thought it'd been better if he started the match. And then if we get, up a few goals, then we take him off. But, Pep chose not to start him, but he was on the bench, and Torres actually started up front, which was, we've seen that in the Champions League, not so much in the Premier League for what I can remember. But given the situation, Guerrero's just kind of really starting to get his legs underneath him, and Jesus not being there, you can kind of understand why Torres was there. Obviously, he decided to start what? No Mendy, no Mahrez again, no Mahrez coming in this match, you know what I mean? So that was a little shocking. We started off, and I thought it was very interesting. So let's kind of get into this. What other shocks did I find in the starting lineup? Nothing really. I mean, Gundogan was there. We seen the double pivot. I think a lot of people don't like the double pivot, but guess what? That double pivot is kind of here to stay. That double pivot is just going to be here for Manchester City Football Club. So if you watch a City Football Club, you got to know that, but we're going to see that double pivot for a while. So as we keep progressing on, Bernardo Silva on the left, bro. I got to take a sip of my coffee for this one. I thought it was mad interesting to see Bernardo on the left. I can't remember the last time I seen Bernardo on the left. I think it's been about I think last year sometime was the last time I saw him on the left. And, it was shocking, bro. I'm sitting up there watching the match, and I'm saying to myself, I'm kind of thinking that, Bernardo's going to be playing, on the right wing like we saw him last time, because last time out, I think against Arsenal, Bernardo was definitely playing, but I think he was on the right wing. So kind of seeing Bernardo start this match on the left wing. And what's so funny about it to me personally is that if you watch Bernardo Silva play, he does not get on that left wing at all. So when Pep decided to start the match off, and then Pep had him on the left wing, I was kind of shocked. I was like, when's the last time I saw Bernardo on the left wing? And I want to say it was definitely last year, but that experiment did not work. It was short lived, bro, because I know Pep is seeing it himself. Pep is like, yo, Bernardo, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. Pep was saying to himself, yo, we're just going to play Bernardo into form. And I kind of agree with that policy. I think we saw him against Arsenal playing. He kind of fluffed his lines and didn't really have his boots on, the shooting boots on in the match. But I think we just got to keep playing him in the form. And I think Pep's starting to agree with that. Pep's starting to be like, yo, look, I don't care where you playing, bro, but you got to get involved in this season. And I might play you in the midfield. I might play you in right wing. So it's kind of interesting to understand that dilemma, because earlier on, if you watch these videos, then you know one thing about me is that I've been kind of vocal on Bernardo Silva's positioning. Was his choice to kind of go over there and play in the midfield, or was Pep saying, yo, that's the only way you're gonna get into this team, because I got Riyad Mahrez playing the right, or I might have Sterling, or I might have Torres. So now with this situation, it's kind of seeing, yo, last match we kind of saw him, even though I think it was in the League Cup, we saw him on the right. And then now again, we're seeing him in the league on at least playing the wing, So like I said, it's kind of started off in the match. I was like, oh, Bernardo's going to be playing on the right. Then I look up and I see Bernardo on the left, and I'm like, yo, bro, Bernardo cannot play the left wing. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care. Like I said, Pep tried this experiment last year, and he tried it. It lasted for about 20 minutes, and we did not see that at all for the rest of the season. And the same thing happened in this match. So when you watch this match, you see the same thing. What do you see? You see Bernardo sitting out there playing on the left, and then all of a sudden, it just did not work. So, Sterling was on the right, and then all of a sudden it was like, no, Sterling, you know what? We're going to have to move you into the left side. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So Bernardo, that experiment didn't work, but then later on in the match, we definitely saw him on the right. But I think Pep is starting to realize that he definitely has a problem, and I've been vocal about this problem as a passionate Manchester City fan, just like other City fans. If you guys are Manchester City fans out there, let me know. But my thoughts on this season is that Pep is starting to realize that either one thing or another is happening. He's either short a midfielder, because if he chooses to go to midfield of, let's say, Ranjit Gundogan and Kevin, it's kind of like, yo, what do you do with Bernardo? So if Bernardo's going to be playing on this right wing side, then now you got a winger problem. So it's like, kind of like, what do you do if you have Bernardo playing in the midfield? Because Bernardo's probably not best suited for the midfield, and obviously he chooses not to play Foden there. So you relying heavily on Gundogan and Rodri in that double pivot role, which we normally do not like as Manchester City fans. So that is what we're starting to really see in this type of situation. But if Pep says to himself, you know what, I'm gonna have Bernardo over here on playing as a winger, so then it creates another problem where, like, yo, it puts him to where he can only play right wing because he does not have the ability to play the left wing. So Pep has realized that either he has a midfield problem or he's starting to have a wing problem. And I'm not going to even touch upon striker, but that's just what I'm starting to realize as a Manchester City. And then you guys out there, let me know if you see something different. Kind of keep it along. So let's kind of talk about how the goal came about, because obviously, throughout the first 14 minutes of the match, I thought we were controlling the ball. We had all the possession in the world. But if you see Manchester City football, you know one thing about us. We always have a bunch of possession, but it doesn't mean we're really going to create much. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, for parts of watching this game, you would see us have the ball and Newcastle trying to chase us down or just kind of sitting back, but it just is kind of not working out for them well. So we had the ball for a lot of leading up to the goal, but we didn't really create much. So let's talk about this goal. So this goal really happens based on what I saw was, I forgot who passed the ball to Sterling, but Sterling made this brilliant run off the right-hand side. He gets the ball, and that's one thing you got to shout out about Raheem Sterling, because Raheem Sterling does things that make you just kind of cringe as a Manchester City fan. But then there's some things that he does that's kind of ill with it, So after he makes this fabulous run on the right, he gets the ball, and it's kind of like, yo, he's just standing there in slow motion. And like, yo, most Manchester City fans, if you're watching the game, you're like, yo, bro, shoot the ball. What the hell? What the hell is Sterling doing? Like, he just kind of freezes in this moment. Then he finds that little bit of time. And as you're watching the goal back, you can kind of see he's sizing up the situation. He's sizing up the situation, but the ball is just right there. He's got his foot over it. And it's normally something you see people do in the box, but he must have just like froze time for like 5-6 seconds and then managed to slip this ball in on his left foot to Gundogan with the absolute great finish, just like we saw previously. So you're starting to see, Sterling making that run, slip back pass, and Gundogan's right there to finish, So we saw that before. We see it again. It's going to be back of the net. So, Sterling made the nice move, and I thought that Sterling had some beautiful runs in this game. And, that's what Sterling was doing in this match. He was controlling the match a lot by making these beautiful runs. And, Gundogan, let's just talk about this guy. This guy is really starting to find his form within this team. And, I've had some doubts about him in that, true box-to-box role this year, but he is looking good, especially in front of goal, because in front of goal, Gundogan's definitely getting there. And there's parts of this match to where, even though we saw it being like the double pivot, but there was times where Kevin De Bruyne was further back and Gundogan was further forward in this match. So we saw a lot of different things from Gundogan's position, but I thought it was just Sterling exhibiting his class, his composure for the ball, even though we're like, yo, shoot, what the hell are you doing? You're wasting another opportunity. He just keeps his eye focused on the ball, sees Gundogan makes the left pass and back of the net, 1-0, to the good guy. So, what we was doing our thing. We was doing our thing there. I thought Torres looked really good in this match leading up to certain parts. There was parts of the match to where I think Torres was just starting to find his feet in this match to where, in the Champions League, where he's playing up front in the Champions League, I think it's a little bit more suited for Champions League style of play because you're playing against teams from other leagues and they don't get a chance to see you. But in the Premier League, it's very tough on him, especially his body, to be able to try to put up and be like that target man, which he's not going to be a target man, but being that consistent striker that we need, even though I think long term, he might even prove to be a good striker. But at the end of the day, I thought he did really well in kind of holding up the play in this match. And we're going to kind of talk about that as we go forward. So fast forward, bring over to an opportunity that happens right around the 34th minute. And I'm going to have to bring it to Torres because, Torres did some beautiful things in this match. And it was right there, I think it was, like I said, around the 34th minute mark of the game. Newcastle has the ball in our box, and I think we clear it, or the only thing I can remember is that the ball gets out to Torres. Torres is this lovely, hold up the ball, and then I'm looking up, as you see on the television, you can see that De Bruyne is making the run. Torres finds him, makes this beautiful pass over to De Bruyne, and De Bruyne's one-on-one with the keeper, and Kevin, I'm going to have to say, I don't even know what's going on with Kevin this year. But when you're watching the game, and let me know, other City fans out there, if you're watching this game, you feel something differently. But, I thought Kevin had a great opportunity. And that's kind of what takes me to this point. It's kind of talking about City really not being clinical enough because, Kevin had this brilliant opportunity where he's one-on-one with the keeper with this ball directly from Torres. And I just seen Kevin, as he gets into the box, he looks up to try to find this run that Sterling is making. And I'm saying to myself, in that moment, it's almost like he doubted himself and he didn't even feel real confident in it. Because in my mind, once I'm looking at him, bro, and I see him look up, and I'm like, bro, he's not looking up to see where the keeper is. He's kind of looking up to kind of make the pass. I'm like, shit, he just kind of blown this moment. He shoots and the keeper just saves it. And I'm like, that's a nice save by the keeper. But Kevin he just didn't look like he even wanted to score in that moment. And that moment happened right around the 34th minute. And, we're going to have to really talk about City not being clinical because Kevin had a brilliant opportunity to really put us up in this match with that and then kind of get him going from a goal scoring perspective because as you've been watching most of these games, we played about 15 games now, Kevin's really been trying to score, The last goal I can remember Kevin scored might be a penalty, bro. A penalty that he might have scored. But he's been really trying to find his shooting form, especially in earlier matches where you felt like he was forcing the shots. In this match today, he had that one opportunity to where it just could have just put him through, and then all of that pressure could have just been alleviated from him if he just would have put that ball into the back of the net. He had that opportunity, and it just didn't happen. excuse me, pardon me, people, pardon me, but yo, it just didn't happen, bro. It just didn't happen in that moment. Yo, I can't believe I belched on screen like that, but it's live, bro. Things happen, but that's just what I say. We got to learn how to be a little bit more clinical, and Kevin is one of those people that is on a squad that we know can be deadly. We've seen it in previous seasons, but in this season right now, he just doesn't have them shooting boots on. He's always going to be ill with the passes, but he just didn't have his shooting boots on in that moment. Then, got to bring it on to Torres, because Torres had another opportunity where I remember Torres going through one-on-one, and I forgot what moment that actually happened in the game, but there was another moment in the game where Torres just had this great opportunity to really score. And I want to say that happened probably like early in the match, but he had a great opportunity to score too. And when you're looking at him with the through ball, and him being one-on-one with keeper, and you expect him to be like that type of player who's going to be like, he's not a part of these Manchester City, being less clinical problems, because we just really got him in. And when you look at him in the Champions League, that he's really been kind of really finding that knack to score. So when I saw him go through, I was like, this guy's going to put the ball in the back of the net, because he's really been really good in front of goal for us. You know what I mean? But maybe that's the Champions League and this is the Premier League, but he had that opportunity and just it didn't go well for him. And then later, Sergio had a great opportunity where there was a ball that was put through from João Cancelo over to Sergio. And I think that happened. Oh, I can't believe I just did that. But that happened probably like around, I want to say later in the match. That moment happened later in the match, around the 81st minute that match happened. But all in all, what you saw in there was we had really three good opportunities to stretch this lead out. And, Kevin had that one-on-one opportunity, should have scored. Torres had a one-on-one opportunity, probably should have scored. And then Sergio, I'm going to give Sergio a little bit of a pass, because it was a beautiful ball. He just had to slide it in the back of the net. But, he's just kind of coming back. He's not really, he's not firing on all cylinders. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass. But at the end of the day, it did not go the way we wanted it to. I don't really believe in, we still have these clinical problems. And I don't know if it's going to be a striker that's going to solve this, but we need to solve this as a team, because as you can see, we are definitely not a clinical team, because this was a different type of win. As we're watching the game up to halftime, you kind of feel like, okay, this is going to be like a 1-0 win, but it's a different type of 1-0 win, because we were a little bit more aggressive, and which kind of leads me on to the second goal. As we talk about the second goal definitely came, and that was good, because Torres, it kind of came off the back of a lot of like sloppy type play that you wouldn't really associate with Manchester City football. But one thing we were doing in the right around that I would say 51st to 55-minute mark was we put a lot of pressure on Newcastle, to where even when they had the ball, we were getting the ball right back, but not in a high pressing fashion. It's just that they couldn't really move the ball and kind of get the ball out. So we had the ball, we were putting balls in the box, and it wasn't really intricate play, but all of a sudden you see, I think João Cancelo got the ball, he whips it in, and then Torres puts the ball in the back of the net. So he makes up for it, with that other opportunity to score. So I'm glad to see Torres score. And then now we're saying to ourselves, guess what? This is not going to be another one of those 1-0 type of games. So at least we got that ball through to make it 2-0. So now we're up 2-0. And I thought we looked good for there. But, we were definitely, there were signs of improvement, and I mentioned the Sergio goal, and I'm bringing this up on screen to kind of talk about one thing. If you see me here with this towel, I got to hit this dog. Dog be doing all types of stuff. So if you saw that on screen, you got to know that my dog be doing things. But, so I want to bring this back up, because I think Sergio, like I said, should have scored earlier. But I'm listening to the commentators over here in America, and I'm like, who's really the man of the match in this game? So I kind of want to talk about that. I thought Sterling had really good moments in this game, where the runs that he was making from either side, there were times to where, like I said, he started off on the right, and then Bernardo started off on the left. They realized that wasn't working, and then they kind of switched it over to Sterling got on the left. But even Sterling was making nice runs on the right. He was making nice runs on the left. So he was creating those spaces to try to get in there. And I thought he looked really good with the runs. who else had a really good game? I think John Cancelo did all right. But when I'm watching the game over here in America, and I'm watching on NBC, and they're like, yo, Manchester City announced in the stadium that João Cancelo is the man of the match. I'm like, yo, they bugging. I don't know what type of match they watching, but and that's not even me hating on Cancelo. I think he played all right in this game. I think he definitely played all right in this game, but I don't think he was man of the match. I think İlkay Gundogan, I would have to say, he definitely looked like a person that was bossing this game in the midfield. So I definitely would say that, João Cancelo was the man of the match. I think that, he kind of played really well. And the defense kind of does what it does. And that kind of brings me on to the defense. But the defense looked good. I think the defense looks solid. And when you really think about it, that's our 7th clean sheet in the Premier League. So, the defense was looking good. I think Stones and Diaz, they have a nice partnership, as you can see. Still wondering when Laporte's going to get in the match or get in the Premier League, because I think Laporte had a good, match in the middle of the week, in the League Cup. But is he gonna get in the Premier League? I'm not really seeing it. But for right now, I think Stones and Diaz is looking good. I thought Ake did all right on the left back spot. I'm disappointed not to see Mendy in there, because Ake, as you can see, is really good defensively for when we play teams like United or Chelsea, and we got them coming up. Or I think that maybe Pep might have been lining that up, because if we play Everton, maybe we might be looking at some pacey guys coming off and trying to face us. But, I don't know what we're going to do there. But, I think Ake did look good, at left back. But I'm noticing that he is good defensively, but offensively, it's just not there yet. You know what I mean? But he is looking solid defensively. And Cancelo managed to do all right. And given that it's Newcastle, I'm no disrespect to Newcastle, but Newcastle didn't really – I can't remember Newcastle even getting a shot on goal till later on in the match. You know what I mean? Like, there was a point in the match to where I was thinking to myself, like, right around the 70th minute, like, this is one of those matches right now. It's 2-0. They really just want to shake hands and call it a day. But at the end of the day, that's what it was. But they had a shot on goal, but I don't think João Cancelo was really tested at right back. He did well offensively, but maybe that was a part of the strategy, because when the defense, when Newcastle tried to have the ball, and you could see even when we was playing out of the back, you could see it looked like a three center back lineup at points, because you saw Ake kind of being holding, not really kind of getting far up there, but kind of serving as that third center back, between then Diaz kind of moving over, and then Stones on the right side. So that's what it looked like to me. Other City fans, if you're watching, let me know if you saw something different. But, all in all, I want to say the defense was solid. Newcastle, they really put us to test, give us a real hardcore test, but at the end of the day, it's it's going in the right direction as we get ready. I think we got Everton next, so it's going well defensively, and at least at the end of the day, we did not see a 1-0 win. And even though we did get 2 goals, I think that there was definitely opportunities in this match to where we could have even stretched it out. I'm not going to say that we could have made it 5-0, but even if we get 2 of those goals, that could have been 4-0 type of win. So all in all, it was definitely a good match. And I think that there's parts that I definitely agree with. I definitely would like to see us be a little bit more explosive with the fullback situation. And if we're not going to use Mendy, then we need to go in the transfer market and then try to really get us a left back. But at the end of the day, I think the defense was solid. Sterling made some good runs. And this might be what the team we look like, because, like I said, Marvin's going to get a chance to play in this game. And I thought we did look good, but I don't think Bernardo had the best game. I will definitely say that. Bernardo looked out of sorts, but Pep's definitely going to have to, figure out the situation as far as, what are we going to be like? What are we going to be like going forward? Is it the team that we saw today? Is that going to be the first team? And then maybe, substitute one of those strikers, and then maybe Torres moves into a wing role? Or are we going to be looking at, Sterling on the left, Jesus or Aguero up front, and then Torres is going to be on the right? Or is it going to be Bernardo? We really have to kind of work that out. And I'm interested to see what Guardiola's, honestly, keeping it real, that's another point we got to talk about another day. But at this point, I think Guardiola's kind of trying to figure things out. But at the end of the day, would I say that he knows his best starting 11? I don't think so right now. You know what I mean? I don't think so right now. I think we're still chopping and changing and kind of figuring out what's right for us. I think that, it's a step in the right direction. But we got 2 large tests coming up. and Everton and Chelsea just lost today, so Chelsea might have a good point to prove, but yeah, we're gonna need these next two wins, and we got to start in the right direction today. So City, let's keep up the momentum, let's keep going in the right direction, and hopefully, we keep building upon this momentum, keep trying to score more goals. I want to see an eighth, clean sheet, because I think the defense is really starting to work itself out. I'm not fully confident yet all the way, because I know that I don't think the defense has been really tested outside of Tottenham. Then Liverpool gave us some chances, but we played some games that really haven't been able to test us. So it'd be nice to see if Everton have Calvert-Lewin and they have Richarlison, or if we played against Chelsea and then Chelsea is going to have Timo Werner, or they're going to have Tabby Abraham trying to really put pressure on us. So I thought the defense looked good, but at the end of the day, I want to see us against better opposition, so that way we know where we're going from here on. But at the end of the day, I thought we did well, and it's a win for City. So at the end of the day, let's keep it going. On to Everton, baby. Peace.